Good morning, it's Jim Allison, your South End Realtor with Dunes Realty. I'm here with Field Insurance President Brian Payne. Brian knows a fair amount about insurance. You've been doing it for how long?
Been in the business for just over 21 years, so very familiar with what's going on in the market, and kind of stay in touch with that.
Well, with 2 decades of experience, we're going to ask you a question. It's going to be a little bit of a softball question, but just the same, this is something that comes up to me a lot from homeowners. My premium is higher, the cost of our place is higher, which is natural, but what are some things that we can do to manage our cost to make sure that we're in a good position when we're buying and selling? One of them that comes up the obvious is water heaters. Brian and I spoke about that a minute ago and wanted to share some of those things with you. Brian, I'm going to pass it to you.
Absolutely, thank you, Jim. We discussed earlier there the age of the water heaters is what really kind of is the issue now for some of these carriers, and most of the guidelines are anywhere from 10 to 14 years on a water heater, traditional water heater, needing to be replaced. And so we're seeing that being one of the big underwriting issues. Of course, some of the water supply lines, plumbing lines inside of the home, being another point of interest from the carrier. So when you're looking at some of these maintenances, things of that nature, $1,500, $2,000 spent towards a water heater, that might be a more proactive type approach of replacing that versus having a claim that might,
$10,000 claim.
$10,000, $20,000 claim, and become a issue from an insurance standpoint moving forward, right? The claims, a lot of times your prices and things like that are based on some of those claims, not solely based on claims, right? But it can affect the pricing. So if we can be proactive, replace water heaters, things of that nature, then it can ultimately affect in a positive way the insurability of the home or the
So that's
property.
why a lot of the condominium associations are mandating that water heaters are replaced after 10 years. If they can go to the carrier and say 100% of our condominiums have newer water heaters, that affects.
Absolutely, yeah. So that availability as far as the insurance placement with which carrier it may qualify for, that becomes a much better option, for that association, for example.
Okay, well that makes sense. That question has come up repeatedly. Why am I being forced to replace my water heater? Well, it's probably good for more than 10 years, but the fact is, if it goes out and causes $10,000 or $20,000 of damage from the 3rd floor all the way to the 1st floor, it makes sense to spend that money to keep the premium manageable.
That's exactly right.
Well, Brian, I appreciate it. Thanks for
Absolutely.
stopping by, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Jim. You too.